So I was in the shower, I was cleaning my ass and making all sure it's all sparkly, spanky clean.
I'm not the funny one. I'm the pretty one.
Cock shots. I just checked myself out.
Candles, music, wine, and then lube up and get on top.
The glory hole's like a dick theater. I've imagined your mouth.
Which means your pants had better come off. Mama needs playtime. I do it.
We're not sluts.
We just love love. Hello, everyone. This is Mrs. Atom.
And this is Mr. Atom.
And you're listening to us here on By the By.
Yeah, you are. Hi,
Yeah.
welcome back. It seems like so long since we did a podcast.
It has
because
been a very long time.
We just recorded one
Shall we talk about the glow party next?
Okay, sure, fine, we'll do that.
Okay.
We're going to jump straight into this one. Oh, by the way, folks, if you hear a lot of it's because we're eating strawberries, because strawberries are romantic.
And it's apparently strawberry season now down here.
I know, I love it.
Yay!
Yay!
Finally, I love strawberries.
Yeah. Anyway, so it's strawberries and wine. That's what we're doing tonight.
Yes. All right, so we're not going to talk about what's been going on because it really doesn't matter.
No.
But we're just going to jump right into the meat of things tonight. We were talking about the glow party that we went to recently with Mr. Atom's new beau, Jack of all trades.
Master of many.
So I hear. So yeah, we went. He had a friend who was having a glow party for their birthday, and he invited us to go along. Of course, checking with them first. And so we were invited to this party. And for those of you who don't know, Mr. Adam, would you like to describe a glow party?
Oh, yeah, I didn't know, really.
Yeah, we had to ask and get some clarification and figure out what the hell it meant and what we're supposed to wear.
Yes, because I was born in the late 70s, long before parties or anything glowed. So a glow party apparently is you've got glow sticks. We all know glow sticks because we all, at least in the States, Halloween, big thing, and a lot of music and stuff. So I would put it close to a rave. If you've ever been to a rave style thing, it's a lot of black lights, a lot of strobe lights, some laser grid kind of magic work stuff, and then people wearing whites, bright fluorescent colors, anything that is going to glow under a black light. Mm-hmm. And while I have lots of pants and underwear with stains that would have glowed under a black light, I was informed by Jack that would be hilarious, by Mrs. Adam, not so funny.
Right. And as a side note, that's
Boy humor.
Also why we don't have a glow party at our apartment.
It's like a fucking Rorschach test in here.
Because everything would be lit up.
Yep. Jackson Pollock basically painted this apartment with semen.
Yes. So a couple weekends ago, I guess, we went out shopping with Jack, and to find some clothes to wear, we went to some of the secondhand shops, and we were basically looking for anything fluorescent colored, bright pinks, yellows, whites, anything we could wear.
Yep.
Like that.
Mrs. Adam found this gorgeous dress that was obnoxious pink at our local Vinnie's, which is like a Goodwill for the folks in the States. But it was about 2 sizes too small, so we stuffed her in there like an attractive sausage that had beautiful ass and big tits and a small waist. Yeah, you were poured into that dress. It was awesome. So that's what you had on. Mm-hmm. And then I found a pair of women's pants that were all lace and zippers. It looked like something out of, out of Thriller. It was like Michael Jackson's red jacket, but it was white, not leather, and had laces.
Right.
Okay, so it was nothing like Michael Jackson.
No.
You know what? Just leave me alone. It was white pants, women's pants. I wore women's pants. I accidentally cross-dressed. And then I was convinced by Mrs. Adam and Jack that I should just wear suspenders, bracers, whatever, and not wear a shirt. Yes. And that they would paint me with their hands with fluorescent paint.
And I think it turned out quite nicely. There's a picture that was taken under the fluorescent lights at the party, so it's not the greatest because it's a dark room with, fluorescent lights. But it was, there's a picture on Twitter of us dressed up, and I think the handprints turned out very nicely.
Yes, but we'll get to that.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert. Oh, by the way, the strawberries were really good with this wine.
Yeah.
Strawberries and Riesling, ladies and gentlemen. It's a good pairing.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we went shopping and got some stuff. Jack found this great jacket.
Yeah.
That was like a exercise sportsy jacket, but the inside was bright pink mesh. So he reversed it and wore it inside out.
Yes.
And then he had on these great bright pink fishnet stockings. And then a little miniature top hat fascinator.
You're forgetting some of his outfit. He had on the bright pink fishnet stockings, a Speedo over them.
Yes, and then black shorts.
Black short shorts, so
Yeah.
that when he took the shorts off, he had the Speedo on top of the fishnet, so you could see everything.
Yeah, it was like a costume and not a costume. He was the Russian doll of costumes.
And then under his jacket, he had the yellow...
Oh, yeah.
I want to say harness, but
It's a bicycle.
Yeah.
For cyclists. It's a reflective thing that goes over them so
Yeah.
that they reflect. I forgot about that.
Right. So he had that on under his jacket so that when he took the jacket off at the party, again, you take the jacket off and you take the shorts off and you've got this whole new outfit.
Yeah,
So,
it was like costume within a costume. Like I said, nesting dolls of costumes is what he is.
Yes. And the bright pink hat feather
Fascinator
fascinator.
was great.
Yeah.
It was good times.
Yeah. Very good. I liked the boys' costumes all around.
The shopping was fun to get
was.
those as well.
It was.
So Mrs. A and I piled into a taxi, onto the bus. We were not in costume.
No. We the party was only about a mile, maybe 2 kilometers or so from Jack's place. So we decided to go to his place ahead of time, get changed there, and then walk on over.
Yep.
So we just public transported it down to his place. We got there. He greeted us with a glass of wine.
Bless that boy.
Bless him.
He knew who he was talking to.
So yes, he greeted us at the door. We had a glass of wine and immediately started getting changed.
Mm-hmm. And so this was kind of, as a side note, this was kind of important because this is the first time that the three of us met any of our friends. Like,
Yes.
he hasn't met any of our friends. We hadn't met any of his
Yeah.
friends. I guess I had, but the two of us hadn't.
Right. Yeah, the 3 of us had not been together
Out.
other than the shopping.
Yeah.
But we hadn't been out anywhere with anyone who knew us.
Right, yeah.
Any subset of us. And so that actually was really why it was interesting. And also because we were spending an entire evening at an event all together, the 3 of us, and because, you've been seeing him now for 5-6 weeks or so.
Yeah, I guess so.
And excuse me, and I have only had limited interactions with them, a couple times here and there, so it was rather interesting, just me being me and how I am. But when we got to his place, and we basically, Mr. Adam had told Jack that we'd be ready in 10-15 minutes once we got there.
Yeah.
So we get there, we get a glass of wine, we start chatting, and I was like, okay, it's time to change. And I start taking my jeans and my sweater off. And,
Right in the living room.
Yep, right in the living room. And I don't care. And I had on the bra and panties. It's not like he's going to see anything. And he even made that comment. He's like, it's not anything less than I would see at the beach. It's
Yeah,
like, no.
yeah. I still find it awkward.
Yeah.
I mean, it's funny. It's not awkward. It's only awkward if you make it awkward. But it's just,
So don't make it awkward.
I know. I overthink.
You do.
I gotta stop thinking.
Stop it.
I know. But yeah, it was kind of funny. But then as soon as
I did, he did the same thing.
he was butt ass naked.
Yeah, he was.
It's just like,
he
wow.
did turn his back to me, though.
Yeah, he did, which is, he gotta save something
He
for
had
the
a
final
nice
reveal.
ass, too.
He does have a nice ass.
I was enjoying watching that. Yeah.
It's squeezable. It's
Yeah.
like Charmin.
It's firm. It's tight. Yeah.
Yeah, they don't call me Mr. Whipple for nothing. Some few people are going to get that reference.
That's okay.
That's for our 35 and older crowd from the States. That's a small crowd.
So we all got changed into our clothes because after he and I just started stripping down and changing clothes, you got on board and
Well,
did the
fuck,
same.
why not? If everybody else is going to get naked to only get reclothed, I might as well.
So we went up into the bathroom upstairs at that point. We all carried our wine and went up to the bathroom to finish makeup. I finished the last little bit of mine, and Mr. Atom was putting on some eyeliner.
Because I look badass with eyeliner.
You do. I like boys and I like just the underneath part.
Yeah, I know.
Like just under the eye.
It's so Green Day, Billy Joe Armstrong. I mean, it's.
And I was gonna say, but not all the way around. Just the bottom. Just underneath.
Yeah. It's funny because if I would be tempted to wear it almost daily because it's easy to put on. It's easy for it to come off, but. It's just, I don't know. I have this issue. We'll see. Yeah.
Yeah.
I may start doing it around the house just to see if when I look at myself, I'm like, does it look like I'm wearing makeup? I'm not against men wearing makeup at all. I think that men should wear makeup because let's be honest, if it makes women
look
beautiful,
that much better.
yeah, shouldn't it help men as well? I mean, who doesn't want to look good? But anyway, that's another story.
Yeah. So we all crowd into the bathroom with our wine, just sitting around chatting while I finished my makeup. You put on your eyeliner. And somehow, I don't know how it came up, but we convinced him that he needed eyeliner as well, that it would make him
I don't know
look
how
prettier.
that happened. It was
I
like
don't either.
1 second we were like packing shit up, and then the next second he was on his knees in front of you, and you were putting eyeliner on him. That was cute. I got a picture of that. Can't post that to Twitter. Anyway, but yeah, that was I liked.
He was
that
a good
picture.
sport. He was a very good sport.
And he looked.
It looked fantastic.
So good.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I love that bit on guys. Yeah.
So let's have to start wearing it to bed.
Yeah. Yeah, you will.
Yeah.
Then the fun part came.
Oh yes.
Yes. So as we were, all finishing getting ready and whatnot, it came time to put the handprints on Mr. Atom.
Yeah.
And so then there was a little bit of discussion as to exactly where do they go, how many do you need? You don't want too many, but you want enough in just the right places. A mixture of colors, pink and yellow, but who's
You two
gonna
were like
get,
Congress. It
who's
was
going
like,
to get pink and who's going to get yellow?
It was. There were so many decisions being made. And I was like,
it happened quickly, though.
We're really overthinking this, and you guys were discussing whether it should be an odd or even number of hands. And oh my god! And you're
left or right,
left or right, and they need to be balanced. And where should we put this first one? We're gonna break ground here. And it felt like I was in a zoning commissions.
If you were, it was the fastest zoning commissions meeting ever.
We're gonna put the brothel here.
Yeah, no, the discussion was very quick, very
yes.
brief.
Where may we do drilling? Sorry.
Here, and here.
Yeah, no, right. So yeah, it was, but it was quick.
And then came the fun part of slathering the paint on our hands.
We had bright yellow and bright pink.
Yes, we did.
He was yellow, she was pink. Mm-hmm. Which now I realize is so gender appropriate. But yeah, so it was fun.
That was fun because it was one of those you slather your hands up with paint and then
one of you go like, I'm going to put
it
here. I'm going to put it here, and you put a handprint right over my crotch.
Yes.
He put a handprint right on my ass.
Mm-hmm. Then we both kind of held on for a second.
Yeah, and then he had one on my leg, inner leg, thigh, and then you did one on.
We had chest. He
yeah.
did your neck.
I had one on my stomach.
Back, you had
somewhere on my back, and one on my neck. It was, it was funny. It was fun.
Hot.
It was fun.
Really
it was
hot. Yeah.
It felt a little foreplay-ish, which was kind of fun. But yeah, so so I was all. Then I had to dry.
Yes.
So he brought out a hairdryer, and he was.
God bless him for having a hairdryer.
God bless him. He was hair drying me.
Every boy should have a hairdryer, even if you're bald, because you never know who's going to need it when.
That's right.
So just buy a cheap hairdryer.
Somebody's going to spend the night with you. They're going to want a hairdryer.
Yeah. It doesn't have to be a good one. Just a cheap one. Just something.
That goes for you too, ladies.
Yep.
Buy a hairdryer. So I occasionally use a hairdryer on my hair. It's like when it gets long.
Yeah.
I know. Anyway. So what was next? What did we do? We
packed up.
Yeah, we went downstairs, finished off a couple more bottles. No, we did not finish off a couple of bottles of wine. Finished off a couple of glasses of wine. And then we started the long and painful hike because you were wearing uncomfortable shoes.
Yeah.
So we started the hike, and we stopped and got wine on the way because the party was BYO.
Right.
We were told the party was BYO, although they had champagne and some sort of cranberry vodka, delicious magic thing.
Yeah.
But we stopped and got wine because, you know, you do not go to a party without a bottle of wine for the guest or for the host, especially when you don't know the host, and especially when it's the host's birthday.
Right.
So Note that down, people.
So we bought 2 bottles of wine for the 3 of us and 1 for the host.
Yeah. And I think that we only opened one of those bottles of wine for the 3 of us.
I think we did. Yeah.
Because you didn't drink a lot, and then we had a lot of champagne. We had a lot of the red wine. Mm-hmm. Then we also had a lot of...
you guys had a lot of the mojitos and whatever the cranberry
magical cranberry vodka sauce juice was.
Yeah, I didn't have any. I just stuck with wine, basically. The champagne and the wine.
It was good. I was getting a little tipsy by the end, but we'll come to that.
Yeah.
So we get there.
Mm-hmm. And as we enter, Jack, of course, leads because he is friends with the host. So he leads the way in, and we get introduced to the hosts, who were dressed up fantastically. Their costumes were amazing.
He looked like he'd stepped out of the Fifth Element movie.
Yes, he did.
I was like, I immediately thought of the blue singer near the end of the opera singer with the long dreadlock tentacle things, and that's what he looked like.
And he had like robotic leggings on, and it was just, he was fantastic.
Awesome.
Yeah. And then she had on a top that was kind of a similar feel to his leggings, like kind of a robot type top, and very colorful, so it would glow under the lights and whatnot. She had on a wig that was a
bright orange
or
pink, maybe.
I think it was a light pink. A light pink wig.
I couldn't tell in the light, but it was.
And she had on a white tutu, and she had the glow sticks. Glow stick rings around, like sticking out from around her tutu. Yeah. And so just a couple of rings of that, and so it just really made everything glow, and it was fantastic.
She looked like, she sort of reminded me of something out of the Jetsons.
Yeah.
It was it was
absolutely
cute, like Jane Jetson.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yes, they were dressed up amazingly. It looked really good. So we got introduced to them, and right after that, Jack and Mr. Adams started walking towards the kitchen to go put the wine down, and which was not too far inside the door. But they started walking away, and this guy comes up to me, and keep in mind, we're at this party. We know absolutely no one.
And there was probably 16 people at this party?
Yeah. There were already a lot of people there.
Yeah, so with us there, it was pushing 20.
Right. And so we walked in, and not knowing anyone, anything, whatever, this guy comes up to me, and he's like, "Hey, do you want a glass of champagne?" And starts to hand me a glass of champagne. And I was like, "No, thanks. We brought our own wine." Because it's a random person. I don't know these people. You don't know... I was just like, you could roofie me. I don't know.
Mrs. Adam goes straight to roofies. It's like, if you're going to roofie me, it takes 2. Okay? Don't be an amateur about the shit.
Yeah. So I politely declined. I said, no thanks. We brought our own wine, and I proceeded to the kitchen. And so as we're in there talking to one of the hosts, we were all informed, I guess, that gentleman was actually their server for the evening. So he was going around offering champagne to everybody.
So note to self, we need to fucking do that at Thanksgiving and the next housewarming we have. That would have made life so much easier if we'd had a little guy picking up glasses and serving. I say little guy, but he was a tall drink of water, but you know what I mean. Some fella,
right,
or lady, filling him up. That would be awesome. That's what we need.
It was genius. So he was going around and offering everybody champagne. So when he came back around the next time, we gladly accepted.
Yes, this is non-roofied.
And I even told him, I was like, "Sorry, I thought you were just
a nice friendly person who might be roofing me."
I didn't realize you were the server, but now that I know that, yes, I will take a glass from you.
So that was funny. I'm trying to think because I remember being in the kitchen. I'm trying to think if we talked about anything really special.
No, because then we went under the black lights to get pictures.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah.
Went under the black lights to get pictures.
So that your paint would glow nicely.
I wish y'all could see her dance. She's so spastic. So went and got the pictures taken, and
we had to weave our way through the crowd because again it was fairly crowded at that point.
So once again in the severely underdressed category, much like Couples Club prior, I'm the only one shirtless at this point.
Yes.
So I did get a good response. People were like, oh, look at that, looks great. That's good. It was a positive response. But I'm walking through this crowd of clothed people. Mm-hmm. Most of the guys. So there were guys as well who had, white pants and suspenders on, but they had white T-shirts. And me, I just had my white ass skin.
I know there were a couple of them in like rainbow suspenders and that type of thing. Yeah.
And so I just had my white ass skin, and it was, I don't know, there was a bit of uncomfortableness because, and we'll get to this, not this podcast, but in a future podcast about body image issues. I don't have the best of body self-image. But yeah, so it was a little uncomfortable walking through that crowd. I was a little uncomfortable.
Nobody else
noticed. I know.
Or cared.
But anyway.
Because there were all varieties of costumes. There was even, so as we were entering the building, there was one guy leaving because he had showed up without a costume. And they were like, you can't stay without a costume.
Yes,
so he had to go home, and he came back later in a stormtrooper outfit.
Which is, as you do. I mean, like, let's see. Do I want to do Tauntaun? No. R2-D2? No. I think this is a stormtrooper occasion.
Yeah, so he came back in his stormtrooper outfit, which was fantastic. So yeah, he apparently, as long as you made an effort and tried to dress up, that's what mattered.
Well, the stormtrooper did glow under the lights. That's for damn
did.
sure.
Yes, it did.
But yeah, that was funny.
And Jack had his little fascinator on.
He did.
So
it was cute.
Yeah.
So we get our pictures taken, and then immediately somebody comes up who knows. He knew Jack.
Right.
Do you want to?
Yep. So at this point, again, it was fairly early on. We hadn't been at the party for too long, maybe 10, 15 minutes. And from the time we walked in, because this was, Jack's friend's party, and I know he didn't know everybody there, but I figured he knew at least some of the people and whatnot. So I kind of took a step back and took a back seat to the boys and let them be a little more of a couple. Because, this was Jack's friends, and I know he wanted to show you off and have you meet some of his friends and whatnot. And so I kind of just took a step back and was, of course, there and present and whatnot, but just let you guys kind of have your show a little more so. So this guy comes up to us, friend of Jack's, knows him at least fairly well. I don't know how well he knows him, but fairly well. And he started talking about how cute they were together.
No, that's not that guy.
No?
The first guy was the Mask for Mask.
Oh, the Mask for Mask. I forgot about him. Yeah.
Who came with that guy, I'm pretty sure.
Yes, Sparkles. Mask for Mask came with Sparkles.
Yeah. So...
Yes.
So he was the first guy that talked to us.
I forgot about
Sorry,
him.
you're all excited and you're jumping ahead in the story.
Yes,
because the Mask for Mask guy was talking to us, and so he ended up asking, I think, if we were how everybody knew each other, I think, or how it was, and Jack just out of the gate, he was like, "Oh, well, I'm dating him, but he's married to her."
Yeah.
And the guy goes, "What?" And he almost, I think, as I recall it, now maybe misremembering, but he goes, "I'm dating him, but he's married to her." And the guy goes, he had this look that he was trying to figure it out.
He's trying to put all the pieces together. Yeah.
And Jack later said that he's not one of the people that has. It's not for everybody. So I think he doesn't have that facility to see, like, okay, this could work.
Right.
That
right.
It's just weird. But yeah, it was kind of funny.
Well, and he started though, but it was him that was asking the questions, wasn't it?
Mm-mm.
Oh no, okay, so
it was the other fellow that was asking all the questions.
Okay,
but this was the first guy that was the first time
the question was
asked.
Okay,
and that's
yeah.
I think the birthday boy asked us when we were in the kitchen.
Yeah.
I think you had stepped out for a moment, or maybe. But this was the first time that it was like, okay, the question was asked that open.
He looked rather confused and was just kind of looking between the three of us, trying to put all the pieces together. Yeah. So, yeah.
But the next guy's story it's a better story. I'll let you tell it.
It's pretty funny, I think. Because, yeah, he, of course, had been observing you guys, and we had been
there at that point for maybe an hour and a half when he came up and finally started.
And he knew Jack as well, and so he came up and was, of course, talking to him, and they were catching up on old news and whatnot. And he was like, and then he started in on how cute you guys were together. And
I think Jack may have gone to the bathroom as well, because I don't think he was around.
Was he not there then?
I don't think he was around when this all started happening.
Yeah, so this fellow was just gushing on and on and on about how adorable you were and how cute. And when Jack looks at you, he's just full of love.
He wants to pounce on you.
Yeah, and he just was going on and on and on, and it was just, we were just kind of, just listening to him, and I was kind of laughing to myself.
Yeah,
because it's true. You guys are cute together.
And at one point he said, I've got a knack for this kind of stuff. You guys are good together.
You're gonna work out. I just know you're gonna work out. Yeah.
Yeah. You're gonna work out. I have a knack for this. It was really cute.
Yeah. Yeah. And so then he turned to me, and he asked. He was like, "So, how do you know these guys?" And Mr. Adam piped up very quickly. "I'm married to her."
Yeah, we're married.
Yeah.
God,
and just the look on his face, he was like...
It kind of looked like that we smacked him.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we could have smacked him and he would have looked less shocked.
Yeah. But I have to give him credit, because as soon as you said that, he kind of, you could tell he was putting the pieces together, and then he was like, okay, so you two are married, and the first question was, for love or convenience?
Good question.
Out of the gate. Yeah.
Good question.
Yep. And the answer, of course, was for love.
Like, look, neither one of us are rich, if that's what you mean.
Yeah. Nope. So yeah, we were like, for love, and then he started.
My immediate response from now on is going to be, can it be both? Like, look, I cook for her. She does my laundry. It's cool.
Yeah, it works out.
Anyway,
but yeah, so he started asking a lot of questions then about the relationships.
Everything.
And yeah, he asked, he's like, so you two are together, talking about Mr. Adam and Jack. Yes, they are. And he was like, and then he turns to me and he's like, and you watch? And of course, at this point, I've not been a part of any of this. So I was like, well, not yet.
Because we had talked about this before. This was our 6th date. Mm-hmm. And I think Jack even said that. He was like, this party is his and my 6th date.
Right. So still very early on. Yeah.
Very early on.
Yeah. And so he asked me, he's like, so do you watch? And I was like, well, not yet. I mean, because I would love that. I know that Jack isn't comfortable with that. So,
She's like, it's not for lack of trying to install cameras.
So it's not happening now. It may never happen, but that's fine. So yeah, he was just trying to figure out how this whole interaction worked. And then he got onto the jealousy questions. Yeah. And he asked a lot of questions about jealousy. How do we handle that? Because he said he himself would be a very jealous person. Yeah. And so we tried to explain to him that we aren't jealous people. I think we even tried to explain compersion to him. But I don't think he could really get past
I don't remember any
the
of
idea
that.
of jealousy in his head, because he kept going back to it.
Yeah.
And he was like, but how do you not feel jealous, when you go out with him?
I think that Jack may have come up to me and we may have stepped away from that conversation, because I admittedly don't remember any of that. And it could be because I was starting well down the slide of drunkenness.
Right.
Because I don't remember... I remember the first few questions about jealousy, but then, and I remember quite clearly afterwards. So we must have stepped away.
He must
have just kind of cornered you and was asking you all these questions. Because I did talk
to him quite a bit more later about other topics.
Okay, yeah.
But he asked about that quite a bit, and I could tell that he was having trouble really wrapping his head around it. And I think it's just because he himself personally would be very jealous, which I think is quite common. Yeah. And it's totally fair. And that's, I tried to explain to him. I was like, look, it's not obviously for everybody, but you and I don't feel jealousy, when with other people.
Jealousy doesn't make sense to me.
It's a waste of
It's funny because I know, and we've talked about this in therapy, like you have jealousy and shame and guilt. I have a lot of guilt and shame. Mm-hmm. I have no jealousy, which is funny because I think all three of those are kind of wasted, but anyway, that's another podcast.
Wasted emotions.
Wasted emotions. There we are. But yeah, that was God, that was hilarious.
It was funny.
That poor boy.
Yeah.
He
he was just gushing on and on about how good you guys were together, how cute, and how it's going to work out, and it may very well. I hope so, because I really like Jack. Yeah. And you guys are adorable together.
Oh.
As a side note.
Shut up. Tell me more.
But yeah, so he was a really nice guy. Like I said, I talked to him a bit more later on in the evening, just about random stuff and whatever. And
Yeah.
met some nice people there, social people for sure. Everybody
Yeah.
was easy to talk to, and yeah.
Yeah, it was actually a really
talked
nice
to a few
crowd.
other random people around here and there, and yeah.
Yeah, this is funny, and this is a side tangent note. Mrs. Adam and I, we are not in the drug scene at all.
No.
And I know that I don't even know some of the names. Molly is one I know. What is the
MDMA?
Yeah. I only remember it as Molly. But I think there was a couple folks that we talked to that were on Molly.
Mm-hmm.
And that was my first experience. I have lived a sheltered fucking life. But I think that was the first experience I'd had actually talking to people.
Right.
And it's funny because I was like, oh, you're adorable. You're like, it's like trying to talk to a kitten. Like they were like, ooh, look, a bunny. Ooh, look, flashing lights. Ooh, look. And, oh, you're so nice. You're pretty. Oh, you're friendly. And then there was a lot of, it was cute. And so that was an interesting experience for me, having never been around anybody who was doing any kind of drugs other than marijuana.
Right.
So that was an interesting experience for me. And I at some point want to try it. I know you don't. But I want to try it in a safe, controlled environment where it's like, I don't know, you, me, and maybe Jack.
Right.
But I definitely want you to be there.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that it would be more fun to have one or two other people there.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Yeah.
Just so you guys can videotape me and show me later what kind of fucking moron I am. We'll be millionaires on YouTube. Anyway. But that was an interesting for me. Had you had experience with people like that up close?
No, I don't think so. I mean, I'm trying to think of any. Certainly not since we've been in Australia, and I'm trying to think of any parties and whatnot in the States. And if so, it wasn't the people that were around me. No.
Yeah, and so
marijuana was usually the drug of choice for my friends.
It's just kind of funny to see that, and I'm like, okay, this is fun. It's I don't know. I think society, we have a bad habit of seeing what we see in movies and television and think that's what it's like. And so, and I knew growing up in the Reagan era, to just say no, that if you try drugs once, you'll be hooked for life. You'll lose your job. You'll lose your wife. You'll lose, you'll have children and then lose them too. And that's the problem with drugs. And so I think that is such it's bad. It's because it's not accurate. Now, I know that there are drugs out there that are outrageously addictive, but still, it was interesting to see this. It also
depends on if your personality is addictive.
Yeah. It was interesting to see this in a drug use in a very safe kind of way. Right. But the people that we did interact with that were tripping or whatever, I don't even know the vernacular. It's so funny because now I'm using vernacular and I'm like, I now understand when people say, what is the word vanilla? What do you mean when you say vanilla? I now understand because I'm like, I have no idea what I'm fucking saying. Right. But yeah, it was cute. It was nice. Mm-hmm. I liked it. Anyway, continue on with your story.
Well, I was going to move on in the evening. Is there anything else from the party that you recall specifically?
No, it was good. There was
some dancing.
A little bit of dancing.
Yeah.
It starts to get a little fuzzy for me because a couple of times, at one point I started double fisting alcohol.
Right.
And when you have a glass of wine and a vodka cranberry something or other.
Because the lovely server guy kept bringing mojitos and then he brought out that cranberry thing and you and Jack were all over that.
I pounded that, man. It was like, no, yes, more please. And I think I had, I don't know, at least a couple. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then, yes, because he and I started to get a little handsy.
Yes, you did. It was cute. And you were kissing a little. And
yeah, and it's funny because it makes me, it doesn't make me uncomfortable per se. But it does make me, I'm always very cognizant of making out with somebody else in general, like male or female. It tends to be worse with male. I think about it more with men. More, not necessarily because of you, but because I don't want of what other people might think about you, not about us.
So you're thinking more in a public place, not necessarily like if you were at Jack's house.
Yeah,
you
it makes no
wouldn't
difference.
think-
If the three of us are here, clearly, we've made out in front of you a lot.
Yeah.
But, if we're at a party like that, especially after people know that you and I are married,
Right.
and I'm making out with him,
You're cognizant of what
I'm
their impression
cognizant of
might
that.
be.
Yeah, and this sounds horrible, and I know I'm putting words into people's mouths, but what I don't want is for them to go, oh, well, what's wrong with her? And I know you don't care. I know you don't care, but I care. And that's, so I tend to be more cognizant of that.
Just tell them I have a third nipple and that really turns you off.
Oh, no, man, then you'd be like that chick from, no, I can't say that because our Twitter feed is the tweet that's pinned to the top, which is we don't want...
You're right. Okay.
we don't want...
But random people don't know that if you're
Yes,
at a party.
True.
Yeah.
But the chick from from Total Recall, yeah, if that was you, we'd never leave the house.
No, we wouldn't.
One for each hand and one for my mouth? Damn. Anyway, I just got all country there. One for my mouth. For my mouth. God damn it. Anyway. So, so we stood, and the three of us actually took a step back away from a lot of the party and talked a long time.
We did.
I have no idea what we talked about. That is a complete and total
I'm pretty sure we just
blur.
rambled a lot.
We talked
I don't
about
know.
something. It had to be important because we got into it was a good conversation. Anyway, so I wish I could remember that, but I was drunk, so
Yeah.
judge away. So then there was only probably 5 people left.
Yeah.
6 people. No, I think there was 7. There were 7 of us in total.
Yeah, okay.
The 2 party people, 2 others, and then the 3 of us. And the birthday boy wanted to go to one of the local, it is the gay club to end all gay clubs in Sydney.
Yes.
It's been around for apparently ever.
And it's apparently where you go at the end of the night to finish the night.
And it's called ARC. And so we had not been. I knew it existed. I had no idea where it was. Yeah, I knew the name, and that was it. So I had been told that I didn't need my wallet and I didn't need my ID.
Because we were just going to a house party.
Yes. But since we were going to a club now, I had to have my ID because they're
Right.
extremely strict in Australia.
Right.
So we had to run back to...
Basically, if you look under 70, you're going to get carded.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
We had to run back to Jack's house. You two both changed shoes.
We changed shoes. You grabbed your ID.
I grabbed my ID. I kept my shirt off.
Yep.
I went shirtless because they
Yep.
were like, "You're gonna be great. You're gonna be great." And at that point, I was so tipsy that I was like, "All right, cool." I'm going shirtless. And we then got the cab back to the club. We went in, checked our jackets.
At this point, it was quite late. It was well after midnight.
It was well after midnight. I would have said 12:30, maybe later.
I would have said it was probably pushing 1. It was before 1:30 because of the lockout laws.
Yeah.
But it was...
I don't think it was pushing 1.
You don't
I
think it was
said 12:30 because we
Okay.
were there for a little over an hour, and we left
Okay.
at about 1:45 because we left past the lockout law.
Yeah, I know we
Past
left after
lockout.
that. Yeah.
So 1:45, 1:30, 1:45.
Okay. Yeah.
So we get in there. It's 3 levels ish, like 2.5.
Yeah.
So we instantly we start downstairs. We go downstairs, check our coats, and then the first floor was actually not nearly as crowded as I thought. It was
No.
crowded. And out of 100 people, 95 of them were men.
Yes. It was crowded, but there was still room to move, which was nice. So if
Yeah.
you're trying to dance, and it also, while it was loud, you could still have a little bit of a conversation.
It was loud. It was...
Yeah.
That was it.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, so there's a bar on the first level, second level. There was a bar there. We met up with the other folks from the first party.
Found them pretty easily.
Yeah.
Because she was still wearing her
'Cause
glow
she's still
dress.
wearing-
This is
yeah.
great. You're like a beacon.
I know and that I made a mental note that next time we go out someplace like that, I'm gonna wear something like that.
Or just like
so
a
you can find
tiara.
me.
Yeah. Just a flashlight to the back of your head.
Yeah. So we found them. We were all kind of hanging out and dancing a little
Yeah.
bit and chatting and
And that was fun. I don't I think I just had water at that point because I was trying to be
Yep.
smart, which is rare for me.
Yep.
Bully for me. And then somebody suggested we go up to the next level. So what we didn't realize was when you go to the next level, it is the next fucking level. Like going up the stairs, but also
That much more intense.
that much more intense. That many
Yeah.
more people. The music
Yeah.
was that much more louder. The lines, it was like ape shit crazy. And side note, neither one of us are club people. I mean, Mrs. Adam and I, we don't go to clubs. We don't go to raves. We used to love to go when we lived in North Carolina. We went to Legends in downtown Raleigh. Great dance club. You always had room to dance. It was a great place to dance. It was good
was
music
fun.
too.
Yeah.
They didn't just play the rave kind of music, just the heavy beat
And it was
stuff.
never so crowded that you couldn't move.
Yeah, it was never that crowded. But a great place. This place,
The second
honestly,
level, yeah.
the second level, I don't think at any point once we got onto the second level, there was a time that I wasn't touching at least 2 people.
No, yeah, it was super crowded. And after we'd been up there for a little bit, it just kept getting more and more crowded as the night went on. And people, kept coming in and pushing their way through. What we didn't realize was that a little bit later, there was going to be a show on the stage.
Yes.
Admittedly, I kind of didn't really pay attention that there was a stage on the other side.
We couldn't fucking see it
Yeah.
because there was all kinds of...
So many people in the way.
And the other side of it is, when you look at average heights of male and female,
True.
men are always taller. And at a gay club, it's like you and I are like, we look like hobbits.
Yeah. Yeah.
My precious.
So yeah, people just kept pushing in and pushing in and pushing in, and it just, and at that point Jack had gone to get drinks.
Yes.
And so it was really getting to that point where I was getting a little claustrophobic because it was there was no room to move. You couldn't move
And
at all.
you're a head shorter than everybody.
Right.
So all you're seeing is well sculpted chests.
Yeah, which is not a bad thing.
I mean, no, it's like...
Because out of those 95% of the people that were guys, I would say 50% of them didn't have their shirts on.
Yeah, and out of that 50% that didn't have their shirts on, I would have said 98% of those people were gym rats.
Yes.
They were... Some of those guys looked like they were sculpted out of fucking clay.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, being chest height's not necessarily a bad thing.
That's great. Yeah, so in me, shirtless, and me, I was in that 2% of the people that don't go to the gym. I'm looking at these guys, I'm like, oh, look, washboards, washboards, washboards. I look at myself, I'm like, loaded dirty laundry. I mean, this is going to be dry cleaned.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we were standing there, and we were still with the other people. They were kind of getting pushed away a little bit in the crowd.
Yeah, they were.
So they were kind of drifting because I think they were drifting more towards the stage, whereas I was just taking a step back closer to the bar just to get away from people. And even at that point, getting close to the bar wasn't helping. It was just there were so many people. I was getting very claustrophobic, and I was kind of to that point that I was like, I need to go down to the couches because there were some couches near the entrance that were not near us. It was just a place to just sit back and chill and whatever. And I was very close to leaving and going down to the couches and just saying, do your thing. I'll just wait down there and play on my phone. Except that I didn't want to leave Mr. Adam alone while Jack was at the bar in case they couldn't meet back up. And then everybody's, here and there and
I
wherever.
wouldn't have let you go anyway. I would have gone with you. And
I know, and I also knew that, and I didn't want that to end your evening. But at that point, right as I was kind of debating what to do and just starting to feel like I need to get out of here, that's when Jack came back up.
Yes.
With the drinks.
Yeah, and so I'd actually said I didn't want to drink, but he had gotten 2 drinks. So
yes.
Me not being rude, because I am a Southern gentleman, if you provide me with a glass of alcohol, by God, I will drink that glass of alcohol. And so I started drinking it, and I was like, holy shit, this is strong. I'm pretty sure it was all rum or bourbon or whiskey, or it was some dark liquor that had been shown a picture of Coca-Cola. That's what it was. Like, oh, would you like a rum and Coke? Here's all this rum, and here, look, it's a picture of Coca-Cola. No, go along. I'm pretty sure that's what it was. I was like, oh, woof.
Yeah.
And so we decided to go upstairs.
Yes, to the third level.
To the third level, which the third level is open and looks down onto the second level. That's why I say it's like 2.5 levels.
It's more of a mezzanine type
yeah,
thing.
mezzanine is a perfect word.
There's a walkway around the edge of the third level, but it overlooks that big dance floor on the second level.
Yeah.
And to me, I mean, I guess if you want to dance, you want to be on the second level or the first. But
you're more of a people watcher.
Right. And so, because to me, it was fantastic people watching there. And the third level was perfect for that because you could stand over, you could watch everybody. And when the show did come on stage, you had a great view of the stage. Because me being short, if we had stayed where we were, I would have seen nothing but chests during that. And not the chests on stage.
Actually, you'd have probably seen just backs.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. I could turn around to the person behind me.
Hi.
I'm just going to look this way.
Don't mind me. Don't mind me.
I might drool a little. Just ignore that.
We, just as a side note, the carpet up on the mezzanine level, we both commented about this today. It was squishy.
I'm pretty sure that carpet had been flooded. Always flooded.
I don't know.
I'm assuming it was just people
I'm a
spilling
little freaked
drinks.
out about it. I mean,
it was also a little sticky, so I'm just assuming people spill drinks and whatever. And they probably, I mean, you don't want to see that place in the light.
Oh God, no. That's worse than our place with a black light. Like,
yeah, it was very squishy carpet though. And I stood. Even as we were watching the show, I would kind of bounce between left foot, right foot, just to feel it squishing.
That's great. Yeah, she's milking the carpet. If you can milk the carpet, that's...
Just don't drink what comes out.
Oh. How much money would it take?
Ooh, wow, that's a damn good question.
Like if I gave you a shot glass of whatever the liquid is that they milked out of that carpet, and I said, if you drink this, I'll give you $1 million.
Wait, does it follow up with antibiotics? Because, well,
nope.
with $1 million, I can buy my own. So, yeah, sure, I would do it.
All right, $500,000.
Yeah.
$100,000.
Half a shot.
That's great. I'm like, there's no negotiating. You can't negotiate this. That's great. Because it's funny. Because I'm looking at that and I'm going, I'd do it for 20 grand. God, I'm cheap and easy. Mm-hmm. So, anyway, aside from milking the carpet. So we got up there and the show started to come on, and it was 3 drag queens in solid latex. It was kind of badass.
And we had seen them earlier that night down on the first
Those were different
level.
drag queens.
Nope, because the 2
sure?
dark-haired ones, I absolutely recognized them.
Okay, I thought they were different.
Nope.
Okay. Because there was a lot of drag queens.
There were a lot of drag queens down there,
okay.
but 2 of them were those. Unless they, like, the face and hair were exactly the same.
Okay.
No,
okay.
there couldn't be.
So I wasn't wearing my glasses either, so I couldn't really see.
And you're questioning me as to whether they were the same people.
Shut up! You're not my real mom. So, yeah. Anyway, the drag show went on. It was cool. I still don't know how there was a time when they had these flouncy skirts on, and then the skirts got ripped off. And I saw it happen, but I was like, all I can think is, latex is expensive. Don't tear that shit.
I'm pretty sure it just had a little Velcro hook at the top.
Gotcha.
And then, because there was somebody, to ruin the magic of it, there was somebody, they were kind of near the curtain at the back of the stage, and there was somebody reaching through, undoing and pulling.
Oh, okay.
And I only know because the first 2 happened so quickly and so well that you didn't really notice it. But the third one, I think the whoever was behind the curtain had a little bit of trouble with it because it took another half second for them to do it.
Okay.
So that's when I caught
Gotcha.
what was going on. So I'm guessing it was just Velcro, and they just literally undid it and pulled it off.
Gotcha. I did see at one point in their routine that the one lady almost fell.
She almost slipped. Yes.
I mean, she was backing up and she almost, on the heels, she almost fell. And her face, it was hilarious. She had that like blow up doll expression. Big eyes, big round mouth, like, oh! But then she just took right control of it. And it was like badass. I was like, that is awesome.
Yeah.
That's a performer.
Yeah.
Because it was touch and go there for half a second.
Yeah. And she was tall, so that would have been a long way down.
She was tall, yeah. So, yeah, that was funny. So that was good. And then I think about that time, all 3 of us were kind of winding down.
Yeah.
So we all looked at each other and were like, are we ready to go? And everybody's like, yes, let's GTFO.
Mm-hmm. But before we leave, would you like to tell us about the men's restroom? Because Mr. Adam used the restroom while we were there.
I want to give some folks some advice. Number one, ladies, you would love going to the restroom at a gay club. Because for the first time in your lives, I'm sure, definitely for the first time in my life, there was a line to the men's restroom, and women were just coming and going freely from the ladies' restroom. I'm like, damn, I need a dress. I'd never seen that. So, yeah, number one. And then number two, you get into the restroom, and there's a bunch of guys just sort of standing around. A lot of guys waiting for the stalls. There's 3 stalls, and then the typical urinal trough. And I'm not shy, so I'll just go to the urinal trough and pee. But there was a short line of guys waiting to get into the stalls. To which I was like, well, that seems odd. Why are you that shy and whatnot? But what I noticed as I was rinsing my hands to leave was stall number 2 actually had 2 guys in it. And they were oddly facing each other. So I was like, oh, well, that's more time than it takes to go to the bathroom. So somebody was hooking up in the men's room, in the bathroom. And as I left, the 2 stalls on either side, people were coming out, and I'm pretty sure 2 guys went into one of the stalls, and then 1 guy went into the third. So
and
I'm like,
you wonder why the men's restroom has such a line.
I know, right? I'm like, so if you have to poo, go to the ladies' room. That's my advice.
Thanks. We don't want that there.
What? Look, I'm just saying.
Actually,
you do it too.
Yeah,
ladies do it too. I don't want to hear it.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, it was funny. I'm like, well, no wonder there's a line.
Yeah.
So I was glad.
When you have 2 to 3 people per stall, it takes a little while.
It was just funny. And the restrooms, of course, were nasty.
Oh, yeah.
Nasty. Ugh.
I'd expect no less.
So, yeah. But, I mean, you did have, 20 people every 5 minutes going to the restroom. Honestly, how many people do you think were in that club?
Oh, Lord. I can't even begin to
imagine.
imagine.
On that base floor, on the second floor, I would have guessed easily 500 people.
Easy.
And
Easy.
It wouldn't have surprised me if you'd said that the whole building there was 1,500 people in these 2.5 dance floors or 2.5 floors. If you had said there's 1,500 people, I would have been like, okay, I'll buy that.
Yeah, I have no idea.
But I don't know. I mean, I have no clue.
When you get people that packed and in a space like that, I can't even conceptualize how many that is.
Because there was probably 7 people per square meter.
Yeah, but I have no idea how big the building.
I know,
I
but
can't
I'm
even
just
imagine.
no, I know, but I'm just sort of. It's like it was tight.
Yeah,
like a tiger. So we left, and walked immediately to Pie Face.
As you do.
Apparently,
yeah.
And Jack got a sausage roll.
Yes.
Irony. And then we started walking back to his place because we were only, I don't know, couple K away, and we were walking, and I was like, okay, we're walking, and I was like, this is good because I need to sober up a bit anyway.
Yeah.
But then out of the blue, he's like, we need to get a cab. Why? He goes like, I feel like I'm walking really slow.
So I must be drunk.
Yep. So yeah, he and I were, what's the word I'm looking for? Wasted. That's what I'm looking for. I was really drunk. You were pretty sober, but you're always sober.
Well, when we were at the first party, I was drinking champagne and wine, but I was trying to go slowly. And then at the club, I only had water.
Yeah.
Because I didn't really want anything they had to offer, and I figured that somebody should stay a little sober.
Look at you being responsible.
Yay!
So yeah, we got a cab and went back to his place. Then what's that face? Go ahead.
No, I want to see where you go with this.
Well, I know what happened. I was there, sort of.
Yeah, so after we got back to Jack's place, I changed clothes. And you did too.
Yeah, I put my jeans back on.
Put our normal street clothes back on, so just jeans and sweater, t-shirt, whatever. We were getting dressed and ready to go home because, we weren't going to stay the night. And so we were kind of gathering up all of our stuff and getting ready to say goodbye to Jack so he could go pass the fuck out. And I went upstairs to use the restroom before we left. And I came back down.
I wondered how it happened.
Yeah.
I couldn't remember that part.
Yeah. So I came back down the stairs, and Jack and Mr. Atom were making out. And
Pretty heavily.
And it did. And about 2 seconds later, you were both on the couch, and he was on top of you in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
And he was a man on a mission.
Yeah.
But there was a little bit of a sticky point in that, I haven't been around for any of the play situations, and I know that he's not really comfortable playing in front of me. So I'm pretty sure if we had just let things go, it would have happened. But we also don't want to put him in a position to where he does something drunk that the next day he's going to regret or not be comfortable about. So Mr. Atom, in his drunken state, surprisingly,
I know, right?
took a stand and said, no, this isn't going to happen tonight. We need to go home.
Actually, I think what I said is this probably shouldn't happen tonight. I wasn't as firm as this.
But it came across
pretty.
he was like, okay, and
Yeah.
Sort of reluctantly backed off.
Sort of reluctantly, and he took my hand and put it on his junk, and it was like,
well, you kept kissing a little bit longer.
Yeah,
and,
but
whatnot,
it was like I just knew that was not that wasn't how it should have happened.
No.
So I wanted to.
And if he's not comfortable with it sober, he's not going to be comfortable with it the next day when he sobers up. So. Yeah.
So I don't know. As much as I really wanted to,
and as much as I really wanted to watch,
I know it was like we probably should wrap this up and go home.
Yeah.
And so we did. We wrapped it up, and he went to bed, and we made it home, and. So we've texted a couple of times today, so he's still talking to me, so that's a plus.
That's a good thing. Yeah. It was a fun evening.
All in all, it was a great night. It was a lot of firsts for me.
Yeah. And I think it was a good night out for the three of us together, and for him to kind of start to see how the three of us in a situation like that, especially being around some of his friends and whatnot, because it's not, the situation's not weird for you and I, maybe a little still for him, but for his friends it is something very different. So you get the whole spectrum there.
And at some point he'll meet our friends, and it's not going to be uncomfortable, but it was fun. It was a good evening.
Yeah, I'm glad we did it.
I am too. It was, like I said, completely different from things that I had done in the past.
Yeah.
So, did you have any other notes? Because she had
a
whole big. Yeah. Cool. We don't really have a question of the week like we always do, or sometimes do.
Well, we have,
but what?
The couple of
questions that were asked. Definitions. So we'd to clarify. I'd had somebody ask me recently. What we mean by a couple of the words that we use. The first one was vanilla. Because I know we often throw that around.
We throw that around a lot.
And we're like, oh, that's vanilla, or they're vanilla, or vanilla people, or whatever. It's definitely a slang. And I don't want to say it's a negative slang, but I'm assuming you could take it as a negative slang. But when I say vanilla, I mean someone who is either unaware, uninformed, or completely outside of the kink community. And by kink community, that's everything from swinging to BDSM to that's it. So, and this is where I start to get in the high horse looking down on vanilla people kind of way. I see vanilla people are people who traditionally have sex in the missionary position, no oral sex with the lights off. When I say they're vanilla, that's what I mean. They have only missionary sex with the lights off and just a little bit of kissing. Once they're done, she instantly gets up, goes, cleans herself off, and comes back to bed.
So Urban Dictionary...
Oh, thank God. Please save me from my own self.
Urban Dictionary defines vanilla as unexciting, normal, conventional, boring.
Hey, that's what I said.
And the example is vanilla, a bit like this definition.
Oh, that's great. Thank you, Urban Dictionary. That's awesome. Yeah. I mean...
It's just someone...
I don't mean it necessarily ugly.
No. It's just... It may be that... That's what they enjoy. That's what they like. It could be that they're uninformed and don't know that there's anything different.
Yeah.
But it's just they're not
It's the equivalent of if somebody calls you basic.
exposed to, yeah.
Yeah. So for me, vanilla it's just vanilla.
Yeah.
Why would you only eat vanilla when there's like a billion other flavors out there? So mint chocolate chip, people. Mint chocolate chip. Another one that was asked about is the word ghosting.
Yes.
I'll let you. Are you going to look up Urban Dictionary? Do you want me to drown myself again and then you look it up on Urban Dictionary?
Sure. Yeah, let's do that. That was fun.
Hey, so in the future, people, just look up on fucking Urban Dictionary. Ghosting for me is when you are texting somebody. It's some kind of electronic communication, and you feel like it's going well. You could have had a hookup or two, but then all of a sudden the person vanishes like a ghost. They disappear, and you never hear from them again. What does Urban Dictionary say?
That is a much more concise definition than what Urban Dictionary has.
Oh, really? Is it like a...
They have a novel here because it says the definition and then it discusses it, I guess you could say. So I'll read it all.
Oh,
so
right.
hang in there. Hang in. Settle into your seats, folks. So ghosting is the act of suddenly ceasing all communication with someone the subject is dating, but no longer wishes to date. This is done in hopes that the ghostee will just get the hint and leave the subject alone, as opposed to the subject simply telling them he or she is no longer interested. Ghosting is not specific to a certain gender and is closely related to the subject's maturity and communication skills. Many attempt to justify ghosting as a way to cease dating the ghostee without hurting their feelings, but it in fact proves the subject is thinking more of themselves, as ghosting often creates more confusion for the ghostee than if the subject kindly stated how he or she feels.
Well, that's actually a really good definition, though.
Yeah.
I mean, that's accurate. And I have to admit, I try not to ghost people. I know I do. I tend to ghost people in that I get so busy in regular life that it hits me that I was like, holy shit, I haven't texted that person in 7 to 10 days.
Right.
I should text that person. I mean, realistically, the only reason I talk to you every day is because you live here. I mean, it's just
I'm not important enough for him to talk to otherwise.
No, it's not that. It's just like so many other things are going
I know.
on. It's just like, holy shit. Time flies by. And I'll look down at my text messages and I'll think of that person. I'll see something make me think of them and then be like, oh my gosh, it's been, 5 days since I've talked to that person. Yeah. Now by that point, they're like, God, you're an asshole.
Yeah.
And I don't intend to be, but
sometimes life happens.
Yeah. I end up being. Those were the two.
Yep, those are
questions.
The main two that I've heard.
All right. So in the future, if you have other questions, feel free to ask us or look on urbandictionary.com.
And where can they ask us?
Where can they ask us? Mm-hmm. What a lovely question. We can be found. Our address is, no, I'm kidding. We can be found at the Twitterverse, in the Twitterverse, at the Atoms of Love, or you can email us. You want me to just go through the whole thing?
Yeah, sure.
All right, cool.
You're doing good.
Or you can email us at theatomsoflove@gmail.com. Find us on the Facebooks. I think
if you search for By the By Podcast, all
one word. Yeah,
yeah,
By the By Podcast. We're there. We currently have 2 people who like us.
Yay.
We love you. Thanks. We have 2 people. That cracks me up. Anyway.
But we've just started that. We haven't done a lot with it.
We still haven't done a lot with it. It's just kind of funny. It's like we true fans. You can email us. I've already said email. You can find us on the website at www.bytheby.com.au. And that's everything, huh?
I think so.
God.
Yeah. You got it covered.
So one quick note to finish up on. I know I already said the closing stuff, but then it hit me. I was like, I wanted to say this. We got a really lovely message last night from a person in the States, and we really appreciate it. And it's always those times where I'm starting to feel a bit, is it worth doing this anymore? And do we have anybody listening? And is it, Yeah. So, but great message, and we really appreciate it. And
there were a couple of questions in there that we will address in a future podcast.
Yes.
So keep listening.
Keep listening. It's going to be on pegging again. We're going to revisit pegging. Well, I mean, we always
more than we already do. But
we visit that subject quite often. But we're going to revisit it again in a podcast, maybe a live action podcast. No, I'm kidding. So yeah, but thanks, and we'll talk at y'all soon.